continue today with our class Kosher Kitchen. We start with Sefer Shmiras Haloshon, and our topic is without rule or regulation. So that's bad. A primary cause of speaking Lashon Hara is that people consider matter of speech without rule and regulations, hefker. So hefker is nobody's. A very interesting translation. Without rule and regulation. So basically, do whatever you want. Tragically, many do not even consider speaking Lashon Hara as sin. Such a blatant regard for the severe prohibition weakens the resolve of those who might otherwise be cautious with their words. Okay, just a second. Okay. Cautious with their words. Okay. The following is parable fitting response for those for the above situation. A sizable portion of the city inhabitants contracted dreaded disease. All of the city doctors despaired of curing the sickness. One day, a world-renowned physician who was known for the ability to restore the seriously ill to the original health. The illness that had swept through the city was used as incurable, and thus many doubted that even this doctor could save them. One sick man, however, hurried to the doctor's lodging at the first opportunity. Where are you rushing? One of their friends asked him. No one else seemed to be in a hurry to see the doctor. Foolish man, the patient replied. A wise person understands that when one's life is at stake, even the most remote possibility of the cure must be pursued. In this case, the possibility not at all remote. The doctor has earned himself reputation for being able to heal when nobody else can. He can cure people who were at the death door. Should I neglect to seek his expertise because so many fools ignore this opportunity of salvation? The above argument is true regarding physical health. If it's true, how much more so it applies regarding spiritual health? David Amalek declared, "Go, O son, hid me, O sons, hid me." Which man desires life? Who loves the days of seeing good? Guard your tongue from evil, your lips from speaking deceit. Tehillim 34:12-14. Who is a greater healer of the spirit than David Hamelech of blessed memory? One who ignores David's advice, he will remain spiritually ill eternally, and will suffer retribution in this world as well. As explained above, surely when one should pay no heed to those who make light of the most severe sin. Okay, so it's pretty long, but let's do it again and try to explain what it says here. I mean, on the surface, everything is simple, but it's not. Right? So again, the primary cause of speaking Lashon Hara, that the people consider matter of speech as a hefker, without rule and regulations. Tragically, many do not even consider speaking Lashon Hara as a sin. So, and that's this approach applies to other things as well, right? So, people say it is too much, right? So, right, it is too much. So, that's why I'm not going to even start. Such a blatant disregard. So, meaning I'm not going to do it to begin with. Such a blatant disregard for these severe prohibitions weakens to resolve of those who might otherwise be cautious with their words. Okay, so meaning just because many people don't do it does not mean that it is allowed, or right, why? Just because other people transgress does not mean that it is allowed, and other people see what's going on around them and they say, let me be like them. And that's why we said many times, so if you're going to be in that company, you're most likely going to be affected. So try to stay away from that company. or if you must be there, like for other circumstances, because it's your job, this and that. So like try to isolate yourself as much as possible. So be as minimum time as possible, then leave. So the following parable is fitted in response to the above situation. A sizable portion of the city inhabitants contracted deadliest disease. So many people are sick, right? And they doctors say, yeah, it's too bad, we cannot help, right? And basically a physician appears, who is famous person, but in their head, in the heads of these people, they decide it's not going to help, and I mean these people every day, so they decided already. And you're trying to help, and you say we can try this. You say, no, it's not going to help, and they give you the list of reasons why they're going to help with them. With everybody else is working, but me, I'm so special, it's not going to work. So you give, okay, no problem. You have a patience. You try to help. You give another approach. The person, it's also not going to work, and they give you like logical, like slow, like you're talking to a child. Second time, I'm telling you. Like, okay, so like slow, sometimes it's louder because I don't know, right? They explain why it's not going to work. So people decide for themselves. Do they want to be cured? I don't think so. I mean, they say they do, but they don't. The illness that has swept throughout the city was viewed as incurable, and thus many doubted that even this doctor could save them. But it's very interesting that the solution is there. Right, solution. The doctor is in the city. It's not like he's somewhere in the beyond the seas that you have to travel 6 months. No, he's right here in your city. And same here. The person offer you advice, and he said it's advice from the Torah. Please try. And person, no, it's not going to work for me. Understand? So they're not even trying. One sick man, however, hurried to the doctor's lodging. At the first opportunity, were you Russian? One of the friends asked. No one else seems to hurry to see the doctor. So many times, nobody, like everybody, like to be like everybody else, right? And nobody wants to be first, even though like they assume maybe it's right, maybe so they look at each other and see who is going to be first, right? So let's not be one of these people. Foolish man, the patient replied, a wise person understands that when one's life is at stake, even the most remote possibility of the cure must be pursued. And here it's not most remote possibility. We're talking about famous doctor. We're talking about Torah of HaShem. That HaShem said, my Torah is a cure for everything. You have a headache, you learn Torah. You have an arm, you learn Torah, right? Right, and the doctor has earned himself reputation being able to heal even when no one else can. He has cured people who were deathly door. Should I neglect to seek the experience, his experience, because so many fools ignore the opportunity of salvation? Right. So that's a good question, and that's what many people like. They call themselves not religious or from other religions. So they say you're a minority of the minority of minority. You are right, and the rest of us are wrong. Yes, absolutely, of course. You understand? So, but they go by majority. So if it is majority, it must be true. No. If the above argument is true regarding physical health, how much more so does it apply regarding spiritual health? David HaMelech declared, "Go, O son, heed me, which man desires life, right? The life to see days of good." So desires life in the world to come, the days of good, I guess, in this world. So and David HaMelech gives a clear instruction: guard your tongue from evil, and your lips from speaking deceit. So meaning. Of course, as we said many times in this class, for constructive purpose, you're obligated to save your fellow, right? You need to do what you need to do, but most of the conversation they're not for constructive purpose. Okay, who is a greater healer of the spirit than David HaMelech, right? Of the blessed memory. So the one David HaMelech is the one who taught us Teshua. How from being not in a very favorable position, he become one of the greatest. Okay. David, 1 second. If one ignores David's advice, will remain spiritual ill eternally. Right. So advice is there. Everybody can confirm that he's the greatest doctor. right? A person that decides to ignore it's his own business, right? And will suffer retribution in this world as well, right? Because why the medicine was there, but person was too ignorant to take it. As explained above, surely then the one who pays no heed to those who make light of the most severe sin, right? Surely then one should not pay heed to those who make light of the most severe sins. As we said many times, it's like some sages say it's like all of the other sins combined. This speaking Lashon Hara. Okay, we stop here. So let me see if we have any questions quickly. So I think it was before class. Okay. No more questions. Okay, so we'll continue. No problem. So we continue with chapter 8. The food prohibited is because Bishul Akum. And we're going through the list. So let me just quickly review the list what we covered. And we said tea, coffee, and beer. So we said technically there should not be an issue. We said sugar. Also, there should be not an issue, but sometimes we're afraid that maybe they added something. Okay. So, but technically, like pure sugar, like white sugar, there's no problem. Right? Chocolate. Also, there is no problem. So not subject Bishul Akum. Mushrooms, right? So that's for sure. It's a problem with Bishul Akum because the mushrooms you can put on the table of some dignitary. Eggs, right? For sure there is Bishul Akum. So and we said even though some people would eat these eggs raw or drink whatever we call it, right? So still like majority of the people would not do it. Maybe in olden times it was more favorable, right? But today, not too many people eat raw eggs. Okay, so it's not a category. So you cannot compare this eating raw eggs with carrots, right? Carrots is like more understandable. People would eat, but raw eggs, I don't think too many people would eat. Okay, so that's why it is forbidden. Continue. Vegetables. Vegetables that are regularly eaten both raw and cooked are not included in prohibition of Bishul Akum. For example, carrots and green peas. Okay. Nowadays it has become common to eat many vegetables raw, such as cabbage and cauliflower. These vegetables are no longer subject to the Bishul Akum prohibition. Okay, so that's very straightforward. Vegetables that can be eaten raw, but for example, potatoes or beets, nobody eats raw. I mean, maybe they do, but it's it's not common. But other things like cauliflower or other things, carrots, no problem. Okay, continue. Next one, cold cereals. Cold cereals are not considered to feed served for important guests. Okay. One who is hosting such a guest for breakfast would serve pancakes, omelets, or hot cereal. Okay. Those cold cereals made from the 5 species of grain may be considered in a category of pas and fall under the rules of pas palter. Okay, so what is the cold cereal? You put cereal, you put milk, or some do with a juice. That doesn't matter, right? And that's how you eat. Usually, I mean, people would not put it on the table of some dignitary, so they would put, as he said, some omelets, this and that, cheese and other things, pancakes, right? Hot cereal, but not cold cereal. Okay. So and these cereals, of course, they were processed, they were prepared. Many of them from wheat, from other species of grains, so they're going to be fall under the rule of pas palter, so meaning bread of commercially produced. Okay. So no problem with cooking. Why did he say cooking? I mean, I'm not sure why he's saying cook. I mean, why it's in this section, because it's cold, meaning. Okay, maybe without milk. Cold cereal as itself, right? If you want to eat it like dry from the box. Okay, so we're not talking about adding milk. Okay, no problem. Okay, so they're past palter. Next one, foods, snack foods. Snack foods such as popcorn, corn chips, and potato chips are neither fit to serve important guests during the course of the meal, nor type of the food one would invite guests to eat in one's home. These are all exempt from Bishul Akum Prohibition. Segress Moshe who permits potato chips for other reasons. Okay, I mean that's fine. Okay, so again, all of this popcorn, corn chips, and potato chips. So, and I guess some others non-misogynous snacks, and they're not so important. Like nobody would invite come tonight 7:30 p.m. We're going to eat potato chips. Okay. That sounds a little strange. Okay, so that's not a problem. Not the Bishul Akum. Of course, you need stamp of the Kashrut, because sometimes not something like on regular ones, like regular flavor. Was a classic case, right? The taste there is no there is like very simple, to get Kashrut stamp. But on all the flavored one, that's when the problem starts. That's when the problem starts. Some of them have milk, like some of them like some other ingredients. So just we have to be careful. Just because the one company would certify one flavor does not mean that all flavors are certified. Absolutely not. Some of them, right, but not all of them. Next one is donuts. It's not in chapter 10 that the opinion of some poskim, donuts are not considered Bishul Akum, since they are made from the dough, not butter. In their opinion, donuts are considered pas and are permitted when baked by a palter. Even if one does not accept this position, donuts are not. 1 second. Included Bishul Akum Prohibition, since they would not be served to important guests. Okay, so let's do this piece again and we try to understand. So one more time, donuts. So I think first we say we cook them. They cook them and then do we fry them as well? I'm not sure. But then not fry, like bake them. So one more time. It's on chapter 10. In the opinion of some poskim, donuts are not considered Bishul Akum. So we cook them. I mean, Bishul Akum for sure. It's cool. So it's not considered we cook that, then made from dough, not butter. I'm not sure. Butter is a liquidy dough, like the flowing. Dough is the one like harder one, more dense. Okay. In their opinion, donuts are considered pas, meaning their opinion of this poskim. So it's not considered like they were cooked, but it's considered like it is bread. So, and I think we said because it looks like bread, right? Then more than something like cooked. Considered as a pas and are permitted when baked by a palter, right? So yes, I think they're cooked and then they're baked. Okay. So and if this palter means commercial baker bake them, no problem. And even if we do not accept this position, meaning that we consider to be cooked, that's how I understand, donuts are not included in the Bishul Akum Prohibition, since they're not to be served on to important guests. So it's like donuts. I think it's like a snack. So it's not like dessert. So like piece of cake, yes, you would put on the table to these people, but not the donuts. Okay. So continue. Pies and knishes. So pies and knishes. Well, what is the problem? That inside the thing is going to work, right? Whatever inside is going to cook. Knishes, this potato is going to cook, or potato cooked, right? So I think that they do mashed potatoes, right? And they put it in the dough and they bake. Okay, so we know pies and knishes. We noted as well that in the previous chapter, the filling in a potato knish is not edible raw, so potatoes or buckwheat or they have spinach. I mean, spinach may be a little different because they say some people eat spinach raw. Okay, raw, and that's the subject of the prohibition of Bishul Akum, meaning because so it's not considered to be bread. I mean, from outside it is like bread. It's from bread family, but inside it was cooked, right? And this stuffing you cannot eat raw. Okay, that's the issue. Since the filling is prohibited, the crust that absorbs taste from prohibited filling is prohibited as well. Very interesting. So crust is prohibited as well. But I mean, it's not too much crust. Similarly, the meat pie baked by a non-Jew, even palter, is prohibited. So I mean that's a different. Yeah, I mean same thing with a Bishul Akum, because nobody eats meat raw. I mean most of the people don't eat, and plus meat was in the presence of a non-Jew. That's another issue. So again, the meat is Bishul Akum, and the crust which absorb gravy and the taste of the meat is prohibited as well. Yeah, that's as we understand. Okay. Kashrut supervision is a major industry today. Kashrut supervision. Yeah. While it is relatively easy to guarantee that the kashrut of manufactured food products, it is considerably more difficult and sometimes practically impossible to deal with the Bishul Akum issues. Therefore, right? So I mean, to check the ingredients, the whole process, the whole machinery, if it's kosher, not kosher, meaning what else they produce on this line, right? It's simple to establish. It would not take you very long time, but the issue is with Bishul Akum. Practically impossible to deal with Bishul Akum issues. Therefore, Kashrut supervision agency rely upon combination of various lenient opinions regarding Bishul Akum in order to provide Kashrut certification. These standards may be unacceptable for someone with more scrupulous standard with regard to Bishul Akum. So let's see what does it mean. So because we know many foods they sell, and it's actually there is kosher stamp on it, but it's you would wonder how it was kosher, because you know that or you guess this company is not a Jewish company. How is it not Bishul Akum? So meaning if it Bishul Akum, so they would not issue certification. But on one hand, on another hand, if the issue certification does not mean that it's not Bishul Akum, right? Meaning they rely on some leniency. What is the leniency? So let's see. It is alleged that Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach Zatzal once suggested that perhaps since rabbinic injunction against Bishul Akum was instituted to prevent intermarriage, the wide-scale institutionalized negligence and careless regarding the Bishul Akum in this country, it is responsible for frightening intermarriage rates among the Jews. Okay. See Shlomo Moadim. Okay, 1 second. It is noteworthy that the statement is missing from some edition of the Sefer. Very interesting. I mean, how does it help us? I'm not sure. So Shlomo Zalman Auerbach Zatzal once suggested that perhaps since the rabbinical injunction of Bishul Akum was instituted to prevent the intermarriage, right? That's how it started. So we would not eat in their houses. Okay, the wide-scale institutionalization negligence and careless regarding Bishul Akum in this country, meaning that it's not on a part of Kashrut's agency, but on a part of regular people, the way I understand. Okay, so they brought a lot of intermarriages, so people feel comfortable eating in somebody's houses, and they say no, don't worry, there is no pig. Like pig is the biggest issue. Okay. So let me know if any questions, because we finished that section. And next one is the food mixtures. So before we continue, let's see if there are any questions. Okay, no problem. No, I apologize. No, there is one question. Let me quickly see it. Okay. So the question is, what types of food consider food served to royalty? So what kind of type of food considered to be served to royalty? Something that you would not be embarrassed to put on some dignitary table, right? So for example, you say cold cereal. I mean, if you have a kids party or something, yeah, you would put like a bowl and put cold cereals and kids eat. Yeah, there is no problem. But if you have you're meeting at the job and you want to sign the contract with the whole company, I mean, are you going to put the cereals? Well, most likely not. Right? It's first, okay. Right? That's the thing. So all of the meats, for example, there is under this Bishul Akum. I mean, yeah, right. The food considered to be served for royalty. Fish, right? All of the other dishes, like pasta, all of the other things, right? Vegetable, from vegetable dishes, of course. But with vegetables, as we said, if it's possible to eat them raw, so they're not in this prohibition of Bishul Akum. So that's like a little leniency. Okay. So example that we gave, maybe these carrots, other things. Okay. So if they have like dish with carrots, for example, that's not a problem. So because you can eat it raw, so that's not a problem. It's Bishul Akum. Okay. Okay. So basically there are two criteria. Continue. Since pas akum. Okay, pas akum. Bishul Akum / Bishul Akum is forbidden to prevent intermingling between Jews and non-Jews. Why is the pas akum bypassed when there is a Jew involved in cooking process, which involves a Jew and non-Jewish interaction? Okay, so that's okay. So let's try to break this question into parts. So Bishul Akum and pas akum. So I mean, this cooking by non-Jew and bread of non-Jew forbidden to stop to prevent the intermarriage. Okay, right. So but with pas akum, with a bread baked by non-Jew, we said we needed some lenient ruling, because in many places, like it was impossible to get Jewish bread. I mean, people need to eat something, so it was staple food for many years, until maybe recently. Some people don't eat bread, right? Because they are in such a good situation. I'm not talking about sick people who have a problem with the gluten, because there are so many other choices of the foods. They just simply don't care about bread. It's too simple for them. You understand? So, but in olden days, people ate bread. So you read the old books, and it says, and we divided bread among us. And that's it. And all of the Tanakh, even David HaMelech, he was a king. He ate bread. Right? He ate kernels. He ate some olives, dates. Like dates were the delicacy because they're sweet. It's unbelievable. So like people ate very, very simple. So that's why bread is exception, right? But in this case, same actually like with this adjusting the fire for Bishul for Pas Akum. It's actually the same rule is for cooking. We didn't get to it yet. So with here we say if they were cooked on our territory with our utensil, there is and plus we took a part in it, so there is no problem, right? And so this person is working for us. It's not like we're going to intermarry with our workers. Most likely not. So who person can intermarry when they go to the neighbor's house and eat with them their food? That's the problem. They eat their food, they drink a little wine, and one thing's lead to another. We have a beautiful daughter. As one of my friends told me, he grew up in this religious neighborhood, and he's older than me. When was it? Maybe in 60s. I mean, he was a little kid. 60s. Before that, after the war, right? And he said it was his building was Italians. Right in Borough Park, and they say you're such a nice, sweet boy. I wish my daughter can marry you. So you have family values. We have family values. We would also understand how family is important. Like simple for them, it was very, very, very simple. They would intermarry with the Jews. You understand? So you go to them. You see that this girl, she has a manners. She respects her parents. Not Jewish girls, let's say in neighborhood, not respect her parents like this Italian girl, and you fall in love with. So that's why we're not allowed to eat in their place. But if we have a bakery, some commercial establishment, they come to bake for us, or we have our kitchen, right? So she comes like a housekeeper, right? And she's cooking for us. There is no problem because we're always around. Okay. Okay. So it right. So it's not because Jews and non-Jewish interaction. It's under what circumstances. So circumstances they work for us, right? Or circumstances that we go to them to their party. That's the issue. That's the difference. Okay. Next question. There is no secure place, at least South America, that they don't put pig into their bread. Because the fat is most cheap, yes, correct, than actually oil. But they never will agree. They never going to agree, and they never going to admit it. Right? And maybe I said it, maybe not, I don't remember. Like last time, a few days ago, maybe 3 days ago, one clown on one channel said, he commented on a video of casino, right? Jews and casino. So we said for a Jew it's forbidden to play casino, but like all of the, not all of them, but it triggered some clowns. Some of them I had to block because it was very insulting. But one guy, like he said, but admit it, like all of the Jews, all of the banks belong to you. He said not to, like in parent, not to you personally, not to me personally. I own only 18 banks, not all of them, of course, right? But he said, since God they decided to give you banks, so there is no problem. At least you enjoy this world. This is anti-Semite. But he said that all of the banks belong to you, and many of them say that all of the banks. Like they count the banks belong to the Jews. So from of course I wanted to say I did not say. So that's one of the reasons we cannot hear the testimony of non-Jews in a Beis Din. Doesn't matter. They say the sky is blue. The sky is blue. Thank you very much. Testimony goes to the garbage. There is some exception when he said it in even not he, when another Jew heard that this non-Jew would say something in a passing. Passing meaning that they talking about something else. And he said, by the way, when we were passing this village, I saw that this bandits, murderers. They actually murdered the guy Abraham, I think, and I think it's he said it's from your village. I don't know, like maybe from somewhere around. And you know that unfortunately this person was lost for some time. So yeah, you can rely on this testimony because it was said in passing. But otherwise, whatever they say, it's not reliable. So even though they say, yeah, no, there is no pig in our bread, so you cannot believe them. So in this case, as we said in South America, so you have to start baking your bread, your own bread. So I would say, like maybe the cheapest solution to buy a bread machine. They have many recipes. We used to have one many years ago, but my wife only used it. I don't know, she doesn't like anything like automated. I mean, but this bread machine was, I don't know, whatever. So she was using only to mix the dough. Okay, no problem. But it's actually many people use, like it's not too complicated. General like simple ingredients, and that's it. And then does the job for you. Okay. So, but of course we cannot rely on them, and it's also where I live. Also, they use this pig fat for pizza, right? When they bake pizza, because it give a better taste. Guess what? Yeah. So people say, yeah, what's the problem with pizza? It's only I would not eat pizza pepperoni, but I would eat regular pizza. What, cheese is not kosher? Bread and cheese is not kosher? You crazy? You're fanatic? Yeah, I mean, we are a little fanatic, and we are a little crazy, but that's true, right? You eat pig in this pizza, for sure. Okay. So let's stop here, continue. Right. So basically, especially if we know these things, it's absolutely forbidden. If they say so, we're not allowed to trust non-Jews in the area of sanctity. So if they say it's kosher, okay, it's kosher. Something, right? So continue. Section number 4. Food mixtures. When prohibited food become mixed into permitted food, there are cases when prohibited food become nullified, battle. Bitul, I mean, it's the same root. Okay. The normal nullification area is 1 part prohibited food to 60 parts permitted food. However, certain lesser prohibitions, such as Bishul Akum and Pas Akum, become nullified in a mere majority of permitted food. One should note that the prohibited foods cannot become nullified when the prohibited foods are noticeable in any way. There are a few commentaries, so let's try to understand. So it's like a separate section. What was number 3? It's number 4. Number 3 was applying the rules of Bishul Akum to particular foods. Okay. So now food mixtures. So meaning now the foods are mixed, the ones that was cooked by non-Jews with food cooked by Jews. Okay. So again, I'm going to explain. Prohibited food becomes mixed in a permitted food. There are cases where prohibited food becomes nullified, battle, right? Meaning it is there, but halachically it becomes nullified. The normal nullification ratio is 1 part of food to 60 part of permitted food. So on biblical level, it's a simple majority, as we said some time ago. It's 51%. But on a rabbinical level, they say no. As rabbis want to go on the stricter, so for sure we don't make mistakes. So they say 60 to 1. So 60 parts of permitted, and 1 part is forbidden, of forbidden thing, right? And they will mix it, and it's this 1 part becomes nullified. Okay. However, certain lesser prohibitions, such as Bishul Akum. So Bishul Akum, so it's not that it's not kosher, but it is forbidden according to other rabbinic decree, right? And Pas Akum become nullified in mere majority of the permitted food. So mere majority is what I mean. I thought there is commentary. No, there is like 51%. So more than half, and they become nullified. One should note that all prohibited foods cannot be nullified when the prohibited food is noticeable in any way. So, so example, what would be example? So I have a stew, right? A minced stew, and a piece of cheese fell into it. The kids were playing, right? Piece of cheese. So you cannot say, yeah, it's like it's 100 to 1, but still you cannot eat it. So you have to take this spoon or something like whatever, some like plastic spoon. It's better to throw out, right? And take out this cheese completely, right? If you milk splatter and it is on top, so if it's possible to take it out, you must take it out. All right, or for example, so because these things are not nullified, so only nullified when they're not visible, noticeable in any way, and I think even taste, right? So some foods have a very strong taste. So yeah, like quantity wise, it is less than 1 to 60, but the taste wise, you can still taste it, so it would be forbidden. So it says, who notes that in the opinion of the Sampaskim, the food contain grain flour. If the food contains grain flour, it is prohibited since the grain is considered major ingredients, as it is with the Hilchas brachas. Okay, I mean, that's a little. I don't want to say too much, but it is Baruch Hashem. It says in a note, and it says some say. Otherwise, it would be, as I said, too much. So, and just to understand what it says here, when we say in the laws of the blessing, Hilchas brachas, right, that if this ingredient, if this dish, not dish, has a flour and it was added to for the taste, and it could be minority, like 15%, 20%. So 20% is minority for sure. It will be still said mizoinus on it, right? And it cannot be nullified because it's very important food. But if it was added for some other reasons, like for thickness and stuff like that, so not for a taste, like sometimes they put this flour into soup, right? To soup to make it a little more thicker. So, but that's a different story. Okay. It would be too much. Okay. So continue. If two foods, one subject of Bishul Akum Prohibition and one not, okay, they say see below example, okay, were combined, the mixture the mixture can occur in one of the two ways. A, the foods were combined before being cooked by a non-Jew, and B, the foods were combined after being cooked by a non-Jew. Okay. The first case is more lenient. Foods combined before being cooked. Okay. More lenient. Because the foods subject of Bishul Akum lost their identity before prohibition of Bishul Akum. Okay. Took effect. While the second case, the Bishul Akum prohibition, already took effect and must be nullified. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so let's finish these two examples, and then we're going to back and try to understand. A, foods combined prior to cooking. Okay, so there are those examples. If two foods are edible raw, and if two foods, one edible raw and one not edible raw, for example, carrots and sweet potatoes, okay, were combined into indistinguishable mixture, for example, kugel. So kugel means that they make puree and that's it, right? And then combine both of them. So meaning you cannot separate. Right, so they were combined into undistinguishable mixture, for example, kugel, and subsequently cooked by a non-Jew. The status of the mixture follows the majority food. If the majority of the food is edible raw, for example, carrots, the mixture of kugel is permitted. If the majority is not edible raw, meaning the the sweet potato, I mean, I guess it's majority, right? Sweet potato is majority. The food is prohibited. In this case, we are lenient, even if the foods were equal portions. In either case, the piece of the sweet potato are recognizable. They must be removed. So it's a very interesting example, very, very precise, last sentence, right? So yeah, even though it was nullified, but if you see, like if it was pureed together, mixed together, there is no problem. There's no way like you can separate. If there is piece sweet potato that was supposed to be nullified, but if it was, you can see it's not nullified, so you must remove it. And example B, foods combined after cooking. If non-Jew cook two foods, one edible raw, carrots, and one not edible raw, sweet potatoes, we have one prohibited food, the sweet potato, and one permitted food, the carrots. If these two foods combine into indistinguishable mixture, for example, kugel, we have a mixture of prohibited and kosher foods. Okay. As noted above, Bishul Akum is more lenient than other prohibitions and become nullified in the mixture with majority of the kosher foods. That's a great leniency. So not 1 to 60, but 51%. Thus, the status of the mixture follows the majority of the food. If the majority is carrots, the kugel is permitted. If the majority is sweet potatoes, the food is prohibited. Okay. So let's now read this page again and we try to understand, and there are some notes. Okay, again, so we're going by two examples. So meaning the two scenarios, I mean, like the end result is very similar. Like they bake a kugel, but how they were the combination of the ingredients is a little different. So let's see. Again, if two foods, one subject of Bishul Akum prohibition and one not. Okay, so one is Bishul Akum, meaning in our case sweet potato, and one is not, meaning carrots. Okay, so two foods were combined. The mixture can occur in two ways. Okay, so two different scenarios. Number one, foods were combined before being cooked by a non-Jew. Okay, so they combined these foods, right? They cooked and then they mashed it. Okay, that's the way I understand. Right? Okay. So first they combine before being cooked by a non-Jew. Okay. And B, the foods were combined after being cooked. So meaning they were being cooked, I guess, separately, right? Then they were like in different pots. Now they were right? Now they were combined. The foods were being combined after being cooked by a non-Jew. So both of them were being cooked by a non-Jew. One is forbidden, this sweet potato is forbidden, and carrots are permitted. Okay. The first case is more lenient, right? Because it was done like in combination, as we understand. So one can cancel out another, right? Not after the fact, right? The first case is more lenient because the food subject to Bishul Akum lost its identity, meaning that they cooked carrots with sweet potatoes. Because the prohibition of Bishul Akum took effect, right? While the second case, meaning that they combined after, the Bishul Akum prohibition already took place. So meaning the one food it was forbidden already when they combined it. In the first case, it was not forbidden when they combined it. They were raw, right? But only after they cooked it. Okay. So let's see again this first scenario. A, foods combined prior to cooking. So that's, as we said, the more lenient. If two foods, one edible raw and one not edible raw, meaning carrots and sweet potatoes, were combined into indistinguishable mixture, this kugel, and subsequently cooked by a non-Jew. So I guess that they were cooked together, made a mash from this, and then they cooked in a way of kugel. Okay. So basically, so when I said the two steps of cooking, right? So nobody does raw sweet potato or raw carrots in the kugel. Nobody, like they first cooked it completely, process, and then bake. Okay. So there are two steps of cooking. Okay. I mean, one cooking is one is baking. Okay. So one more time the whole sentence. If two foods are one edible raw and one is not edible raw, were combined into indistinguishable mixture, for example, kugel, and subsequently cooked by a non-Jew, so it's a second cooking, the status of the mixture follows that of majority, which is good, right? If the majority of food is edible raw, carrots, the mixture of kugel, that is kugel, is permitted. So very straightforward, right? If a majority of the ingredients can be eaten raw. If the majority of non-edible food, not edible raw food, right? So sweet potatoes, the food is prohibited. So bottom line is like the bottom line, the product, meaning the kugel, is prohibited. Okay. In this case, we are not lenient. Oh, I'm sorry. In this case, we are lenient, even if the foods were equal in equal proportions. Okay, Haloshon. In either case, so I mean, it helps us a lot. So it's not 60%; it's exactly 51%, or even if it's exactly 50-50. Okay, equal proportion. In either case, the pieces of sweet potato are recognizable. They must be removed. That's clear, because in order for something to be nullified, you should not see it. I mean, you see it, but you cannot separate it. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, so next scenario. Foods combined after cooking, right? So meaning after cooking, meaning that they one of them was prohibited to begin with. That's the case. If non-Jew cooked two foods, of course separately, I guess, right? Separately. One edible raw, meaning carrots, and one not edible raw, meaning sweet potatoes. We have one prohibited food. There is sweet potatoes. Again, it was cooked separately. And one permitted food, carrots. Okay. If these two foods are combined, so why? I mean, initially we should not combine, as we understand. Like it would be forbidden, right? Commented. Initially, it is forbidden to mix kosher and non-kosher foods in order to nullify the non-kosher food. So as we said many times, all of these things of ratio we say it's after the fact, not lechatchila. Okay. So again, I mean, but they did it anyway. If these two foods are combined into indistinguishable mixture, for example, kugel, we have a mixture of prohibited and kosher foods. Right, so meaning that one is Bishul Akum and this is kosher foods. What does it mean? Commentary. Similarly, if a Jew and a non-Jew each cook potatoes, and the potatoes were inadvertently mixed together, their status depends on which potatoes were majority. Right, so it's similar items. Right, Jew cooked potatoes, non-Jew cooked potatoes, they got mixed. So we need to see who's the majority. Here is a little different, but the same concept. Carrots are permitted, potatoes are forbidden. So we need to see who's majority. Again, his majority is not 1-60 because the product is kosher. Is in itself. Okay. As noted above, Bishul Akum is more lenient than other prohibitions and become nullified in a mixture with majority of kosher food. Okay, majority again 51%. Thus, the status of a mixture follows the majority of foods. Okay, so again, initially he should not have done that. I mean, I guess like after, if a person did it one time, it's going to fly, but second time, like if it's their procedure, their routine, it's not going to work out so well. I don't think so. If the majority is carrots, the kugel is permitted. The majority is carrots, the kugel is permitted. If the majority is sweet potatoes, the kugel is prohibited. Commentary. See Shach. In this case, the amount were equal. In the mixture would be prohibited. So, So since very interesting. So in the previous case, when they cook together and then bake this kugel, they say even if equal 50-50, we would rule leniently. So here, when they first cooked separately and then combined, like even though it was not allowed to combine, into one dish and baked it together. So if it's 50-50, not 51 and 49, 50-50, or we say that it is prohibited. I mean, to know exactly it's 51 or 50%, I'm not sure how would they measure. Okay, so second, let me see what time. I guess we can stop here. So next time, I'd like to start with a practical summary. So we're going to see what's the difference. And then after that, they just wanted to introduce the next section when the Bishul Akum applies. Okay, so more practical. Okay, no problem. So let me see if I have any questions. Okay. So next question on this. Just sorry, jumped. I'm not sure what happened to that. I don't know, disappeared. Okay, so next question. Question about Bishul Akum. Since we learned that the food fit to serve a king is referred to the actual food as prepared, yes, the dish, yes, instead of general type of food, correct, that's what we said last time. Yeah. How can one nullify the foods combined prior cooking? If the ending up dish is suitable to serve a king. Okay, so one more time. Question about Bishul Akum. Since we learned that the food fit to serve king is referred to actual food as prepared. Okay, so final dish, yeah. Okay, the dish instead of the general type of food. Correct. So I mean, example is just for all of us to remember what we said last time. It's not, I mean, I'm just explaining what it says here. So we said it's not food per se, but the dish. And the example that we gave, French fries. Usually people would not put French fries on the king's table, but mashed potatoes, yes, there's no problem. Or mashed potatoes like in a knish or something, or kugel, yeah. So yeah, we go by the final dish, correct. And instead of general type of food, everything good. How can one nullify the foods combined prior to cooking? So that's our first case. If the ending up dish suitable to serve the king. So again, so as there are two steps of the process. Right. So our ingredients are allowed. Forget about the dish itself. So we go in step one. First, step one, we have to cook them. Right. This, especially in our case, it's very. He's very, very wise in picking out the cases. So the case was two steps process. It's not one step process to cook. One step process is different, but two steps meaning that they have to cook vegetables and then bake them into the kugel. Right. So technically, if for example, if Jew would cook this, our example, take our example. He would cook carrots and sweet potatoes. There is no problem. They like mash it with masher with whatever food processor, and then baked into the kugel. There is no problem whatsoever. Right? Kugel is something very, very respectable. But here we say there is if both of the ingredients were not were cooked by non-Jew, for example, both ingredients are not eaten raw, right? So there is no so ingredient itself. All ingredients are prohibited to begin with. Forget about the dish. Like it cannot be like it cannot be double prohibited. So one prohibition is also always enough. So we don't have we don't say that this thing is prohibited 7 times because this I mean it's irrelevant. If it's one time prohibited, it is prohibited. Right, so a person cannot get like 7 life sentences. How can the people would say, like he has only 1 life, right? He cannot have 7, and he cannot have other things, right? So meaning what I'm trying to say. So when they like ingredients before they start baking, so like this second step of making kugels, so are these ingredients to begin with, are they kosher? Are they allowed? Right? Are they allowed? So in this case, right, if they cook together, and majority was carrots, so the ingredient from which they're going to bake the kugel is kosher, right? Okay, after the fact, we should not do that, but after the fact. So all of these things after the fact, of course, right? And then if it's like initial ingredients are kosher, and they baked. And they bake the kugel, so there is no problem. Okay, no problem. No more questions. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's do the two questions that were asked before class. So it says, well, before that, that's my beautiful animal, opossum. Okay. So, Kodarav, if we bring food from home and eat in our work, do we need to recite brocha that guests recite during bircas Hamazon? No, we don't. We don't recite because guest meaning guest that you ate of somebody else's food, right? It could be guest. It could be. Guest, I mean the host, meaning the one who provided you with the food. It could be like in somebody else's house and say, guys, I'm going to bring food for everybody. So I'm on treat. I'm going to order from a restaurant, and they're going to deliver. So this person is a host, like the one that we're going to bless, because we bless him for food, right? I mean, if right, and if and other people, they're not going to bless this host of the house, like how they benefit from him. Okay, so meaning what? Bottom line, in your place of work, you don't say this edition. Okay, so continue. If there is any significance in seeing certain animals, for example, seeing one type of the bird visiting you constantly, like a dove. Also, for example, during the Parsha that we read, the plague of frogs, where was frogs outside the door on Friday night. Frog. Very interesting. Friday night. I'm not sure if it's a significance to see these specific animals. I mean, frog is very interesting, but again, we have to remember, frog is not the only animal that listed in these plagues. There are many other, all of the wild animals, right? So frogs was one of them. It doesn't mean something. I don't know. Maybe it's a very good question. It's a question to a prophet, not I would not know, right? Okay, there's no more questions. So let's do a little this Hilchas Yichud. And we on chapter number 2. I think we're close to the end. No, so it's very chapter. So chapter number 2, and let me just see what subject. Okay, so we on the topic is the big subject is permissible yichud, and then we say factors that determine permissible category of yichud. Was number 1, and number 2 was halachic status of man, niece, and woman son, uncle. So we said, according to some it should be lenient, but we said because it was nullified when men of the Great Assembly prayed. But then we said it's only minority opinion, so most likely it's not. And right, and now we're on a section. Let's say subsection. 1 second. Subsection. There is a topic is limit of. I cannot pronounce this word. Consanguinity in Halachah. Limits of consanguinity in Halachah. Yichud with the cousins and in-laws. Okay. Some people assume without question that yichud is permitted with all relatives. Yeah, that's true. However, as discussed earlier, this serious error of Halachah in practice, cousins and distant relatives and in-laws are no different from total strangers with regard to these halachas. Again, so cousins, because you grow up, you're very together, you're close, it does not mean anything, or you in-laws, right? Examples. A man may not be in seclusion with his female cousin, nor a woman or a girl be in seclusion with her male cousin over 9 years old. So very, very straightforward. Just because you're cousins, so it does not mean that they can babysit for each other, stuff like that. Not allowed. So again, men cannot be in seclusion with a female cousin, right? Meaning he cannot babysit her, right? Nor any woman or a girl be in seclusion with a male cousin over 9 years old. Okay, next one. Man may not be in seclusion with his mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, or sister-in-law. Right? So of course they are relatives, they're very close, but stay away from this, right? Because it's they're very close to you, but they're very like same as strangers. Okay, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, and sister-in-law. If the husband is away, the son may not be at home overnight with the mother and teenage niece. A mother is not shomer at night. Okay, so one more time. If the husband is away, the son may not be at home alone overnight with the mother and teenage niece. Okay, with his mother and teenage niece. Okay. A mother is not shomer at night. So I think this is new idea that they're going to discuss later on. This mother is not shomer. So with his mother he can be, but mother and his niece he cannot be. Teenage niece. Okay. So next one. A woman may not be in seclusion alone with her father-in-law or brother-in-law. Okay. That's okay. That's so woman cannot be in seclusion with her father-in-law or brother-in-law. Next one. Man may not stay late at night with his widow / divorced mother and his teenage niece in the house if the house is locked and with only 3 of them. The fact that the second woman is his niece does not mitigate the halachic requirements for another shomer. Okay, so let's read it one more time and try to explain. A man may not stay late at night, so like during the day, yes, but not with his widow / divorced mother. So I mean, technically, widow / divorced mother. I'm not sure what the difference does it make. A man may not stay away late at night with his widowed or divorced mother. I mean, what's the difference in the status? So if father is in the hospital, right, or something, mother, and his teenage niece. So I mean that's the point. Teenage niece. If the house is locked, with only 3 of them. Okay. So meaning the mother, as we said from previous point, so mother cannot be a shomer. Okay, that's understandable. The fact that the second woman is his niece does not mitigate the halachic requirement for another shomer, meaning a mother is not a shomer. 1 second. Okay, so continue. In fact, yichud is often more restricted with these relatives than the total strangers, because see chapter 4 gosh bo. So gosh bo, we said it's when person feels like familiarity with these people. Okay. Examples: relatives who keep special social ties. Keep special social ties are considered gosbo, meaning they're very close, right? Or they come together, everything is together, full house, always. Therefore, a man may not be in yichud with his married niece. Man cannot be in yichud with his married niece or cousin if there is the close family relationship and allegiance between them, even if the husband is in a city. Although yichud with a married woman whose husband is in a city is ordinarily permissible, this is not the case if the man is a woman maintain a gosbo friendship. Okay, so let's read it again and try to understand. Relative who keep special ties to are considered gosbo. So I mean, some people just meet once in 6 months, but other people are very, very close to the family. They will attend all of the events together. Everybody to this house, that house. I don't know. Okay, so that's very interesting. Okay, but I think like in my mind. So if you want to be sneers in all of these settings, so you have to be like always dressed. So in your house, you can take the jacket off, this off, that off, like and your wife can go without head covering. But if you're in somebody's house, like everybody must be covered, like all of the heads always. I'm not sure what they do that, right? And if she wants to go to the bathroom, let's say a wife in the middle of the night, she cannot go in her pajamas, right? She must be dressed. Maybe she's going to meet somebody, so also a head covering. Okay. So again, relatives who keep special social ties are considered gosbo. We said that. Therefore, a man may not be in yichud with his married niece or cousin if there is a close familial relationship. So between them. And allegiance between them. Okay, relationships and allegiance between them. Even if her husband is in a city. Okay, so meaning as we said, technically, if the husband in the city and he can come any minute, there is no problem, right? But because of this special relationship, so we said there is a problem. Okay. Continue. Mistaken notions regarding yichud with relatives. Quite possibly, the mistaken notions of the yichud restriction do not apply to cousins and in-laws arises from natural bonds that often exist between cousins. Okay, and a feeling of closeness that has developed between in-laws who regard each other as a family. Okay, so I mean, it is true, like cousins feel, especially you grew up together, like you would visit each other. It's your mother and their mother, like sisters. So of course you feel very close. You've been together in many occasions, right? So which makes sense, right? But that's the problem. Again, quite possibly mistaken notions of the yichud restriction do not apply to cousins and in-laws. So in-laws, it's like your mother, father, but you stay away from this, right? Arises from natural bond that often exists between cousins and feelings of closeness, right, to the cousins that can develop between in-laws, right? I mean, a person and his in-laws who regard each other as a family. In-laws meaning between in-laws, so cousin and in-laws between them. It's not the guy and his brother's wife's parents. Okay, so between the in-laws. Okay. While the family closeness and harmony of this kind is a blessing when they love each other, right? And of course, highly commendable. This must be diminished. This must not diminish the concern that these relatives are, in almost all cases, are subject to all the same yichud restriction as a total stranger. So as we said, there is a problem with all these cases when somebody is going to synagogue, somebody is not going to synagogue, somebody stay behind because he does not feel well, and guess what? And this one went to sleep and end up in yichud with your wife. That's the problem. Okay. So care should be taken. Care should be also taken to avoid this excessive socializing. So despite yichud is one thing, but excessive socializing it's another thing, as we learned today, right? So stay away from excessive talk, okay, and especially if it Haloshon hara. It goes without saying that affectionate gestures of physical contact, such as embracing, hugging, kissing, etc., between uncles, nieces, aunts and nephews, male and female cousins, and in-laws, so for example, at the social events in the family gathering, such as wedding, bar mitzvah, etc., categorically forbidden, right? So we don't kiss, we don't touch each other, no hugging, no, okay, nothing, okay. But even, forget about this, even with your own children, we don't do, like in public, okay? Especially in a synagogue, it says clear that we're not allowed to kiss and hug our children, right? Even when there are no prayers. Okay. So next one, A5. A yichud with of a ger, convert, okay, with he/her natural blood relatives, right? So that's, we had this question before. The ger tzedek, righteous convert, whose conversion was done according to Halachah, is permitted to be in yichud with his or her own blood relatives under the same halachic exemption that apply to natural born Jew. Okay, so that's, as we said, it's exception. For example, a ger is permitted to be in yichud with his mother, daughter, so meaning the daughter even before conversion, right, or sister, even they remain Gentiles. Okay, so yeah, so he converted, but daughter did not converted, mother not converted, right? So sister did not convert, so there is no problem to be in yichud with them. Similarly, Giyores is a woman who converted, is permitted to be in yichud with her non-Jewish father, son or brother. Okay, no problem. So that's very clear, right? So if some sometimes it is a situation where a woman converts, like a single mother converts, but children do not want to convert, or I don't know, they're not ready. This that doesn't matter. She converted herself, so technically there is no problem with yichud with them. Okay, so that's big leniency and Baruch Hashem. Continue. The yichud exemption applies notwithstanding the Talmudic statement that ger, right, so meaning the convert is regarded as halachically as newborn child. So ger is regarded as halachically newborn child. Okay, so what does it mean halachically? This statement merely means that the ger is forgiven for all his past sins, and that his familial lineage and relations are halachically severed. It does not mean the convert biological or physical nature has changed. Very interesting, right? Biological or physical nature has changed. I mean, a person looks the same, maybe a little bit better, but technically the same. Therefore, the exemption of yichud that are based upon the rules of human nature, meaning it's a very interesting point, right? For example, as is in the case of those close blood relatives, whose seclusion would not normally lead to any arise transgression, apply to ger as well. So very interesting, since this ger did not change physically, and to his sister he looks exactly the same, right? To his mother, father, they look exactly the same. So that's why it's not going to be like different attraction between them. I mean, it's a haram, maybe push them differently, but like under no normal circumstances, it's not going to produce any illicit thoughts. So let me just read one more time because it's very interesting, right? Because they biologically did not change, physically did not change. So one more time. The yichud exemption applies notwithstanding Talmudic statement that ger is regarded halachically as a newborn child, right? So on one hand, it's a newborn child. Newborn child meaning that whatever from the previous life of this person, they're not his relatives, and technically they are, right? Meaning that he's not obligated, for example, to do some things for them. Okay. This statement merely means that a ger is forgiven for all sins. So that's what the newborn child means, right? For all his past sins, and that the familial lineage and relations are halachically severed, right? And does not mean that the convert's biologically physical nature has changed. So it's not like she's like one day old baby. I mean, technically yes, but practically not. They look exactly or very similar to before they dip into the mikvah. Okay. Therefore, the exemption of yichud that are based upon the rules of human nature, meaning that the attraction, is it going to bring to arise, right? Meaning that as in a case of close blood relatives, right? So we said this exception, whose seclusion would not naturally lead to arise, transgressions apply to ger as well. So it's very, very like good to know, right? I mean, we said it before, but now we see it in writing. Okay. Accordingly, a ger is permitted in yichud with any of the following of his or her blood relatives. Okay, mother with son. Okay, so mother converted son not, or son converted mother not. Okay, so and he wants to stay over there. She can want to stay over, no problem. Father and daughter, grandfather and granddaughter, grandmother and with grandson, great grandfather with a great granddaughter, and so on. Okay, great grandmother with a great grandson, and so on. Full of the half brother and sister. Right, so that's very interesting leniency. I mean, it's the same as the Jew. So meaning half brother, half sister, meaning they share only one parent, mother or father. Okay. Continue. In the affirmation examples, the exemption applies whether these natural relatives have also converted or not. That's very interesting note, right? There is they have remained Gentiles, so it's very interesting. So a person can be in seclusion. Yes, they got new souls. We understand that all of the sins were forbidden. That's amazing, right? And her cousin is converted, so but she can be with her not cousin. Forget it. Her brother converted also, so she can be in with her brother, I guess. It's half brother, sister of half brother. Okay. So that's very good to know. So let me see the time. Okay, so let me see if we have any questions. 1 second. It could be on any topic, wherever you want. So the next section starts. Okay. So we have a few questions. Okay. I think we start from here. Shalom to double check my understanding on Bishul Akum on food mixtures. Okay. If there are two criteria, ingredients edible when eaten raw, right, correct. So even, let me just explain. So even if ingredients edible by eaten raw, there is no prohibition of Bishul Akum, right? So meaning they cooked these carrots, or they baked apples, right? Apples you can eat raw, right? So there is no problem. So many, of course, they improve. Maybe you like the baked apples more, but does not change the thing. Okay, so meaning it's not, this apple would not be forbidden. So again, we're not talking about some not kosher ingredients. This different story. We're talking about that everything is kosher. Pot was kosher. It was on your kitchen. All of the ingredients are kosher. They put some spices. All your spices were not mixture milk and meat. All of these things. So I mean, that's, I hope it's understandable. So we're talking about only Bishul Akum, no other issues. Okay. Next one, dish fit to serve to the king, the food mixture. After the fact, if the raw edible in ingredient is majority, it is nullified and no longer under the prohibition of Bishul Akum. Yes, correct. Yes. So okay, so let's quickly explain this number 2. Dish feed definition, right? Dish feed for to serve a king, meaning it is not edible raw, right? It is not edible raw, and like it's combination, and it is important to be served on a king's table, right? As an example that we use, you can have a potato kugel, right? It's a very nice dish, right? On one hand, and you can have potato chips. Chips, I mean, as a snack for kids, yeah, maybe it's good. Right, so chips you would not put on the king's table, but this potato kugel, yes, you would put on the king's table. So both of them were inedible, right, to begin with, but right, but after you cooked it, so that's it depends. Now it goes by the dish, okay, and not you. After non-Jew cooked it, now it goes by the dish. Is it important? Not important. So chips, that would not be prohibited if cooked by a non-Jew, right? That's what it means. And mashed potatoes or this potato kugel would be prohibited if cooked by a non-Jew. That's the difference. Yeah, I think whatever is written there here is correct. Majority, yes, and if it is a mixture of two, so in last case, if it's a mixture of two, one is not edible raw, one is edible raw, like as we said, we have mixture of this, what is it, sweet potato, not edible raw, and we have carrots, and majority is carrots. They would cook together. There is no problem. So carrots nullify the mixture after the fact, so you cannot tell it apart. So this mixture, this was officially like kosher mixture that if they cooked from this mixture, there is no problem. They can put it on a king's table, right? Okay, no problem. So continue. Shalom Aleichem, Kvadaraf is on the subject of animals. Are they golem? No, golem is not. No. Golem is animal. A golem is golem. Golem is a person like that was created manually. I mean, not manually, kabbalistically from the dirt, from the dust, something. But people can do that. But by using Kabbalah Maasit, right? Meaning like a practical Kabbalah, but there is no soul. Right, and and animals are the creatures, different creatures that were produced naturally, right? Naturally, and they do have soul, animal soul, but they do. But golem does not have any soul. That's the difference, right? And it was produced by people, and animals come from other animals, right? That's no connection. Okay, I mean sometimes they would call like. To insult somebody, call them a golem, like empty. You understand? Some empty, no feeling, hard-hearted person, something like they would call him golem. Okay, so next one, Shalom Kadaraf question about yichud in Megillah Esther. Yichud in Megillah Esther. I wonder why Esther was presented. presented euphemistically as a Mordechai niece, which presents clear yichud problem instead of directly his wife. One more time. Well, Esther was presented euphemistically as a Mordechai niece, which is presented clearly yichud problem. I mean, so I mean, I'm not sure what period of life we're talking about. When she was in his house, she was orphaned, right? Her parents died. I think her father died before she was even born, and her mother died during the childbirth. So Mordechai, her uncle, adopted her, right? So it is like we didn't get to adopted children and what is it and parents, but last time we said yesterday. So there is some kind of leniency if this baby was adopted when it was an infant, right? So like so in a baby's mind there is no like nothing nothing bad is going to come. When they know they're strangers, that's a different thing. But at least on one side is the baby does not know that. Maybe they do, but it's a different relation. It's more than father to a daughter relationships. Okay, so there is no problem. With yichud, of course, we try to, and we're going to see like what the solution be, because we do know that people adopt children. It's not like something like crazy, right? Crazy idea. Yeah, people adopt children, and they have to find a solution. So they adopt a girl, and mother goes to work, for example, or the father works from home, mother goes to the store, or I don't know. She goes to another town to visit her mother, and she's going to stay there for 2 days, for 2 nights, because mother does not feel good. Okay, so what the guy should do? Okay, so that's we're going to learn about it. So with Esther, it was no issues. And when she was taken, so the reason I say it depends what stage. The reason when she was taken to Ahasuerus, she was taken by force. It's not like that she wanted and she put herself in that position. She was not. Okay. Next one, Shalom Kodarov. Question about hair covering. Is married Jewish woman allowed to show her hair in front of her father? I think if she got married, we're going to see it. I think she should not. Right after she got married, she should not be without hair covering in front of her father, if I remember correctly. But that's what I think. Okay. Next one. Question about modesty. What is the proper level of closeness between these yichud-restricted relatives? Since we need to avoid excessive socializing, that is what is considered excessive. For example, when male cousins of the wife is having the meal at the couple's house, she is allowed to serve him meal. Okay, so let me read one more time, try to understand. So now we're talking about modesty, like all of this excessive closeness, right? With a new family, I guess. What is the proper level of closeness between these yichud-restricted relatives? Okay. So I mean, the way I understand from his description, it's when people are very familiar, they come together for all of the events that celebrate in this house to that house. So they see each other very often. They're very friendly, good relationship. That's the issue. I mean, it's as he said, it's a blessing, but it's a issue as well. I mean, because it can push them, can give them some ideas. So one more time, what's the yichud-related? Since we need to avoid excessive socializing, so excessive socializing, it's always between man and woman. What is the connection? Yeah, she's a very interested person and she wants to ask me 100 questions. I mean, if it's Torah related, I say there is no problem. But if we see some closeness, so we just separate. You understand? We don't need these things. Okay. But we have to understand, like, as in few families that I know, like they come to my show, they have a family comes together from this place to that, and they they sleep on the floor. All of it's like different families, like in one house. It's only 3 bedrooms, like 4 families, like a lot of kids. Like there is no privacy, nothing. So and like in your house, like if you like if not so many people, so you can be quiet and you go read book. But here there is no place to read your book. Like the people are everywhere. So and people are talking. So I mean, for me, I have no problem not to talk to anybody. Just keep quiet and read my book. So listen to lecture, do things on the computer. But for some people, for most of the people, they going crazy. Like, do you hate me? Do you like do I hate you? Why would you say that? You're not talking to me. I'm not talking to you. There is nothing to say. I mean, like I am busy with other things. There is like, but people, most of the people, they cannot stand it. They need to socialize. That's the problem. So when you agree to go to this environment, it's like you put yourself in that's a dangerous situation. You understand? So I would say try to avoid it, right? Or minimize it at least. Okay. So since we need the excessive socializing, right? We just explained. What is considered excessive? So I think everything is excessive, right? So to say good morning, hello, and that's not excessive. But other things like why do I need to talk to my female cousins? Like about what? Okay, so I mean because like most likely it's going to bring to lashon hara. What is most likely? 99%. So for example, when the male cousin of the wife is having meal at the couple's house, male cousin, right? And she's allowed to serve him meal. So this lady serve meal to her male cousin even though he's married. I don't think it's a good idea to serve. I mean, for a woman to serve, so she's next to him, so like to all of them. So let them serve themselves. I think it would be more beneficial. Okay. So we try all of this, like all this Torah and all these things, they create closeness, and we try to avoid it. Not because we're rude, but because we know that it can bring to the bad thoughts and something that might come out of it. Okay, next one. Shalom Kadaraf. A question about setting the Shabbos candles. Okay, is it allowed to set Shabbos candles near the window that does not have curtains, knowing that the window is very little, and there is no neighbors, perfectly closed, and there is no wind, and that enters into the room. As example, the little window in a country house. I'm not sure what it means. So one more time. Question about setting Shabbos candles. So first of all, where do we have to set Shabbos candles? We set Shabbos candles. There is a two reasons. One is respect of Shabbos. So respect how you respect. You light many candles, especially in olden days. We didn't have electric light, so you liked you usually on Thursday. Sunday through Friday, you would light. Through Thursday, you light 6 candles, right? But for the whole illumination of the house. But today, Shabbos, you light more candles. So that's how you respect. So and the respect must be in a place where you eat. So it's proper to put it on a table where you eat, or if you're afraid to knock them down. So like somewhere, like in another place, maybe on a countertop, where you prepare food, so you can derive some benefit. So if this Shabbos candlelights put somewhere like on a site, like next to a window that nobody derives any benefit. So the blessing that was made on this candles, a blessing in vain, right? So yeah, so we don't we don't put our candles there. And next to the window, it's I think it's like I thought it's like the question is about Hanukkah. On Hanukkah, yeah, we try to like to publicize the miracle, so we put next to the window. But on Shabbos, no, we don't have to publicize anything. We actually, it's for us, like somewhere in the middle of our room, like so you can see it, and it's proper actually, right? You just remember another halacha. So when we say Kiddush Friday night, the first paragraph, right? So when you say the first paragraph, so you have to look at the candles, right? So they must be very, very close to you. Okay, so and this thing about the window, so I have to say, so what person means, you're not allowed, it's one of the halachas of lighting candles, you're not allowed to light a candle if it could be draft, like meaning if somebody would open the door, right, and it would be draft from like air from the door to the window, and it could be extinguished windows, it's the extinguished candles would be 100% forbidden. Okay. So it's not about neighbors, so it's our respect of Shabbos. So basically, you have to light as close as possible to the place where you eat. Or the others say that where you can derive benefits. So if you want to light them in your bedroom, for example, even though it's not common, or somewhere in the hall where people walk, you can also light there, so you can derive benefit. Okay. So next one. A question about yichud and converts. Okay. Even if the yichud is based on the physical nature, since technically if both father and daughter convert, they're allowed to marry each other, correct? Should they avoid yichud if they're both adults? I mean, you're right 100%. Like, what we said here, I mean, it's very important point brought here. So we don't put ourselves in that situation. We say after the fact. So if we if after the fact you must stay with your relatives, yes, we say okay, yeah, you can. It's not forbidden. But lechatchila, like in the beginning, it's not advisable. So father converted and daughter converted. They both adults. They both should live separate lives. That's a different story. Right, even if they're kids, if they, I don't know, 9 years old, you're not going to tell you 9 years old, 12 years old to just get out of the house, move out, because they're converted. Of course not. So, but when they're adults and they can live separate, so yeah. So then, of course, it's very, very commended not to be together. Yes, correct. And with with the brother and sister, of course, the same rules apply. So only for a short period of time. Right. And one thing, and another thing, I would say these people like who did not convert, from my experience, it's from my experience. It does not mean that it's always they would in many cases would like be a little aggressive to the other people who converted, right? It's like on subconscious, I guess. That's what I heard was reported to me in many cases, like for no reason. They're trying to be this nice, to be nice, extra nice, extra nice. But in other people who did not convert, there's a little this unease. Let's put it this way. Okay. So next one, question about modesty and converts. Okay. Does shomer negia apply to yichud exempt natural relatives for converts? For example, if Dora converted, does she allow to hug her father? I think it's a very good question. If I remember correctly, the lenient opinion, they say yes, but I would say don't do it. Don't do it again, because she's a different person. So you just explain, we stay away from this and that. So And usually people understand, especially like if it's adults. We're not talking about kids, right? If it's adults, so we explain to them. So Dora, like older Dora, so you explain, sorry, honey, we don't. I'm a different person now. Trying not to hug, not in a public, not in a shmablik. Okay, so she would understand, I guess. Okay. So next one, Shalom Kodarav, a question about Shiur. If one is ambitious in spirituality, should he or she looking for someone who is ambition like themselves? If you think it's such a simple question, it's not. And I'm going to explain why. And I have in mind like a specific example. So sometimes people started like they start ambition in spirituality. If they on one line, right, on Hashkafa, they go both God-fearing people. That's amazing. That's that's a very, very good start that they will do like vertically. We will go up vertically. There is no problem. But sometimes when we have to see how genuine the person is. If it's only for show, so if one side is only for show, another one is genuine, so that it's going to be conflict of these people, guaranteed. Understand? So it depends like how genuine these people are. Okay, but on one hand, on the other hand, if some in second like this second part of the shidduch, they're not ambiguous, they ambitious, and they would like to stay on level 3.5 out of 3,000. So that's also a problem. So ambition is good, but you have to see how you have to make sure that they're not going to hold you back. That's very interesting. That's very important. So that doesn't matter. It's man or woman is more ambitious. Okay, so that's what else to add? Just one more time. What's ambitious spiritually? Should he or she look for someone? So okay, the bottom line. I would say yes, but you have to make sure that that person is genuine, not just show off. Why I say shown off 7 times today? Like I have early class, day class on Thursday. So there were 3 or 4 questions ask about the show of persons. I mean, I didn't get it like in the beginning, so I can continue like saying that the problem is the same. The problem is the same. People do not learn. They dress in certain way, and other people around them consider them very, very holy people. And unfortunately, based on the dress code, right? So, but these people not genuine. I mean, again, according to the accounts that we heard, maybe it's true, maybe not. Okay, so next one, Rav. Since seed is called the blood of the man within the man, may we perhaps infer that since the ruach of a person resides in blood, okay, thus the ruach is a potential children resides in seed, okay, and therefore consider murder when spilled. I mean, we can do like a simple, like simplify this thing, like a simple thing, like the sperm is like this building block for making children. So if somebody spilled the seed, so kill the children, right? But let me read again. Since the seed is called blood of man within the man, I mean it's only one expression. Okay, we may perhaps infer that since the ruach of a person resides in the blood, I'm not sure if ruach resides. Ruach is a spirit. It's neshama, like a physical part of the blood, whatever it means. It resides in the blood. Okay. That's ruach potential. Okay, but yeah, we got the answer is the same. Okay, so next one. It's a continuation of Shabbos candles. Let's say there is no other room for setting them. and the dinner table is located in front of the candles. Yeah, there is no problem. Okay. So there is other thing what some people do. So let me tell you, they set up a small table, like mobile, like small table, like this big, right? And put the tray, right, metal tray. So that's always recommended in case of the candle fall. And we have on this Yom Tov, we had two candles, not candles, like this was it, cups, oil cups. They blew up. One blew up, and my mother was sitting there. She got scared, like it was like explosion. Of course, like it was more than more sounds than anything. But the glass, the piece of glass fell, and she got scared. I mean, everybody got a little scared. But Baruch HaShem, like did not create any fire. We had a tray, so it fell on a tray. So Hashem save us. But right, but it's always absolutely also recommended to have a tray, metal tray, right? Because things happen. So it's not candles. So we have good candles. They burn to the top. There is no problem, right? They never fell, never fall. But this oil, if you put a little, not like no normal amount of oil, not even like maybe half of cup we put, maybe not more than that. But from time to time they explode. And we don't buy by the cheapest. I mean, we buy the good quality. But what can you do, right? After some time, it's like they just explode. Okay. Right. So again, so you can put a small table, side table, and technically, if you put some other things on this table, you put challah, you put your book, you put whatever you put. So this table did not become bosses, did not become base for a candelabra, right? In this case, right, if it did not become if candles stop burning, like they burn out, so you can take this table and move to another part of the room, if you need work there or something. So that's what I know other people do. It's very convenient. Some people have a small table on the wheels and stuff like that. Okay, that's also cute. Okay, but you must have something like put it on this table that is not muktzah. And again, you're not muktzah, and you allowed not to touch the candlestick themselves, but everything, the table with everything, you're allowed to move. Okay. So next one, Shalom Koderaf. It has been said that Amalek are those who fight against HaShem and want to destroy the Torah. Okay. What does that then means that can consider Bitul HaShem not to fight Amalek? I'm not sure what that means. So one more time. It has been said that Amalek as those who fight against HaShem and want to destroy Torah. So, of course, they cannot fight against HaShem directly, but they try to fight against HaShem's children, meaning the Jewish nation. Right? And the Jewish nation is represented by the Torah. That's the only representation. Right? Not by... We made a clip, and I said it many times in private messages to people, right, about this Israeli flag. So now we made the official clip about Israeli flag. So the Israelis do not, like Zionists did not represent the Jewish nation. What represent the Jewish nation? The Torah, right? So this Amalek fights against the Torah, but against the other Jews as well. For them, it's no different. Okay. What that means? It's considered Bitul HaShem. Maybe Hil HaShem. It's not to fight Amalek. I think it's Hil HaShem. Meaning not Bitul HaShem. First of all, we do not know who Amalek is, right? And second, it's maybe this advice if to fight Amalek is from Eitz Hara. So first of all, we know if we know who Amalek is, we are obligated to right, to kill them, right? But if we do not know, so we're not obligated. If we guess it, we're not obligated to kill them. But there is a verse we just learned. So Hashem said, "You just stay quiet out, and I'm going to take care of these enemies." So sometimes when we go out and people protest about these Palestinians, this and that, it's not for no constructive purpose. Understand? So there is other way to fight them, much more productive than fight with them and prove them. They don't care about your proofs. Continue. Shalom Aleichem Koderav. Question about forbidden plants mixtures. Clementines, a type of the mixture between mandarin orange and sweet orange. Okay. Is such mixture is permitted since they are both citrus plants? This even kiwi is permitted. Right, kiwi is also permitted. So they from different. As I understand, kiwi is from strawberry plus cucumber. I think, if I remember correct, maybe not. So they're totally different. Not even close. Same to the same family, but it is permitted to derive benefit. It's not for us. It's not permitted to produce it, to grow it. Yes, right. But we allowed to, after the non-Jew did it, we can eat it. There is no problem, right? And I think grapefruit also it's a mixture also. The mixture is called killime. Okay. So. Okay, somebody's typing the question, so let's see. Okay, so okay, no problem. We got one fresh question. So, for general question, if one notices that they are treated differently than the most by Shamayim, if one notices that they are treated differently than the most by Shamayim. Okay, so Shamayim is the heaven. So this person noticed that he or she treated different than most of the people around. Okay, and it seems that they are higher expectation of them, of course. For the same behavior, their peers would not get into trouble, okay, but they always get caught and corrected, okay. For example, when misspeaking or wasting time on internet without viewing modesty as heresy, okay, I like the way it put it. They're not able to fall asleep the same night until they apologize to HaShem and do teshuvah. What does it indicate? How should they better serve HaShem? That's a very good, very interesting question. So we're going to split it in a few parts. So first of all, we have to remember, if HaShem gave us special tools, special talents, it's not for free, right? It means that you have a special obligation. So for example, I don't know, somebody like a system admin in a company, right? So he cannot have the same computer as I am, right? He has the stronger server. Maybe he's the only one on the server because he has to build this, release that. Like a lot of things that must be going on because he has special responsibility. Me, I work remotely, regular laptop, regular PC. There is no problem. But the point is that since it is more expected from this person, so the person is given these special tools. So when the person is wasting this time, these special tools, it's like a waste. Other people, they did not get these special tools. So there is not much that we can ask from them. On one hand, on another hand, if they would want and they would beg HaShem to get these tools, special tools, HaShem would give them. So the problem is, as we're going to learn in the book of Dvarim, so when Moshe rebuked people, he said, because you did not ask for Hashem to give you God fearing, to be God fearing people, right? So it's special. It's special. It's a special quality when you can ask assistant of Hashem to see like things like you did something and you got punished, as this person said. So you understand? It's like special relationship between you and Hashem. So He's not going to tolerate, right? Same for example in a company where I work, and when the company would not meet the deadline, so they would fire managers. This CEO, he would not CEO like. I'm the CEO. It's too much, but there was some positions that in my career there, I don't know how many, 10 people, 12 people changed. Like they would hire them, they did not hire me because performance of the company never depended on me personally. I mean, I'm just a little guy who did whatever was required, and that's it. Understand? It was not expected from me to make sure that the company would meet a deadline, not deadline, but the financial lines, right? So finance goals, right? Not me. This CEO for sure, yeah. He had to not sleep the whole nights and have meetings, this and that, and use his friendship, pressure, this, that, bribes or whatever he need to do to get the customers, to get the product going, like all of these things, whatever he had to do. Nobody expected me to do 1% of what he did. So, but when he is given different salary, when he is given different position, all of the tools in his disposal, and he does exactly what that I do, like a regular person comes on time and leaves on time and take a lunch break. That's not proper. I said for him, if he would behave like me, simple person, he's been stealing, right? So same in this situation. Again, if one notices that they are treated differently than the most by Shemaim. So the other people, they come, they did not come, who cares? But when somebody keep people, do not show to work. So I remember my company that I keep person. And I remember there is a person, he said, I'm going to vacation in 1 week. So everyone, whoa, he's going to the vacation. What are you going to do? They split his responsibility between 7 people. That's crazy, hardworking people we have. Crazy. I mean, crazy in a nice. They did a lot for the company, right? And very hardworking. So, but if I would not come, okay, so maybe one person, 2 people would split responsibility, no problem, right? So that's the thing, right? So a person, it feels that he's treated like very differently, okay. So meaning attention. So this person is important, right? From this person is expected, and seems that there is a higher expectation of them for sure. So this guy, the sysadmin or other people like CEO, expected from this CEO to meet the financial goals. From me, no, right? So if company fails, he's going out. I'm going to vacation, paid vacation. You understand? That's the difference. Okay, so of course the reward is also different. For the same behavior, the peers would not get into trouble. As I give example, so who cares about them? They're irrelevant, unfortunately. Irrelevant, and people not shine. So they decide I'm going to stay on level 3.5 all my life. So okay, you want to Hashem wants to give them a reward, but they do not care. Okay, they do not care. Okay. So they're not getting caught. So I mean, corrected. So only this person. It's like they all of the projectors are on that person. Okay. Speaking on internet. So and then did something. For example, the misspeaking or wasting time on internet. Okay. Without viewing immodesty or heresy. So even though it was videos, cats and birds and beautiful waterfalls. I don't know, whatever is it, right? Nothing heretical, but wasting time. A person can waste some time during the day. I don't know, depends on the person. But if they need to relax a little and watch this waterfall, these beautiful birds, there is no problem whatsoever. Just so we know, since there is no immodesty or in propriety, there is no problem. Okay, but it has to be limited. Okay. They are not able to fall asleep in the same night. So meaning Hashem said, look, from you I expect a little more. Okay. Until they apologize to Hashem and do teshuvah. what did this indicate? So this indicates, so now after all being said, so it indicates that we have to remember, so at one point HaShem is he's not going to send these messages like straightforward, one-to-one. So would get upset and not show. That's the problem. And sometimes people would say that I'm good. There is no problem. All is good, right? Because HaShem, I did not get any punishment and stuff like that. So we have to remember, and took to heart. Hashem reminded us one time, 2 times, it was clear, one-to-one message. Right? Sometimes in a kid's book you have from left side and from right side, and he or she have to draw the line words connect to what, and the word to the picture. For example, right? So same with us. Even though we're adults, so we said, I did waste my time on the internet, I cannot fall asleep. As soon as I ask Hashem forgiveness, I apologize, this and that, I fall asleep. So you see, it's this line in the children's book, right? But is it going to be always like that? So Hashem expect us grow up, your children, when you were, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5, it was amazing when you drew that line correctly. But now you're 20, now you're 35, so you have to grow up, that's it. Forget about lines, so that you have to think on a deeper level. Okay, so how to serve better Hashem? So I would say, always push yourself. Always push yourself, because there is no limit. So some people, they're afraid to push themselves because they say, I'm not that talented. I'm not that this, I'm not that, and and they put self-boundaries. But in spirituality, as we always say, there is no limit how low a person can go, and there is no limit how high a person can go. And it's not up to their talents, right? It's not because of the talents, it's because of the blessing of Hashem. He said, nobody wants, look at this, what is it, a story from Chofetz Chaim. There's a doctor, famous doctor. Why don't you go? Nobody wants to go. So this guy was the only patient, and he got all the medicine. Let's say that this doctor, I'm just making up, adding to the story. He came from with his, this doctor, this bag, right? And he had only 1 dosage of the medicine for one person. Guess what? Everybody stayed behind. They did not care. They thought that he's not capable. This person said, look, doctor, can you help me? He said, very nice. Thank you for coming. This is medicine. Take for 7 days. He said, maybe should I share with somebody else? Maybe, but you came. Nobody else came. I'm giving it to you. Guess what? That's exactly how it works, right, with Hashem. So since many people do not care, did not even try. So he said, you want to go higher spiritually, or you are not so smart, you're not so bright, you're very shy, you're very this, you're very that. Okay, so I'm a master of everything. So I'm going to make you not so shy, I make you very self-confident and very smart and very attractive, and a lot of charisma, right? That's it. So that's the message. So when Hashem expects for us, we have to perform and push ourselves up as high as possible. Okay. Right. Okay, I think that's it. Done with the questions. All right. Looks like no questions. And story we did on Wednesday. Okay, Beezrat HaShem. So I think we're going to Thursday. It's too hard for me, but other days you should do this story. Beezrat HaShem on other days. All right. So thank you very much. No more questions. It was an amazing week. We learned a lot, Baruch Hashem. And you see, even though there is no time, that's my process. There is no time. There is a small, but we still push one book, and we on chapter number 2, closer to end, chapter number 2 with a tiny print. This print is tiny. I mean, in some books it's a double print, the double size. So Baruch Hashem, we do little by little, and that's how we advance. You say that Hashem, I want to do more, and He's going to make blessing, and is going to stretch the days, and He's going to stretch your talents, and make something out of you that you yourself never expected. All right. So thank you very much. Good night. Good Shabbos, and until next week. So we'll see. Probably it's going to be 9 p.m. Beezrat HaShem. Thank you.